Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might be otherwise infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, you guys. So this is from Scientology online courses. This is part of this is one of the ethics conditions. Imagine that children are being told this. Now, to me, non-existence means you don't exist. Let's see what these fools think it is. Non-existence is a state that exists when a person is not known or fully recognized by other people. In the narcissist world, that'd be called silent treatment. Because, LRH was a malignant narcissist, in my opinion. Imagine them doing this to children, you guys. Imagine this. So if the child asks a question, they don't want to go on course, they don't want to do manual labor, they don't want to scrub toilets, they don't want to clean the hotels in Clearwater that the Clearwater PD seem to be okay with, they don't want to do any of that. And then they get put into ethics conditions. And one of their conditions is condition of non-existence. Isn't that great, you guys? So it can go one of two ways. From the heinous abuse, the child can become more narcissistic or possibly psychopathic. I personally think one of the prestigious executives was very psychopathic. The former ones. Or the child who's heinously abused just internalizes all their pain and has all different kinds of ways of coping and I think they call it maladaptive behaviors. And don't get me wrong, I'm not some pristine person. I'm just sharing what I've learned. That's all. And so he doesn't exist to them. Imagine a child being told this. I'm pretty sure this condition of non-existence was talked about in Nathan Rich's book. I don't know if he pointed it out, said that this is the condition of non-existence. But what he went through, and what a lot of the children that were at the lower ranch, they all went through that. They weren't allowed to ask questions about Scientology. They weren't allowed to say, I don't want to do Scientology. They weren't allowed any of the things most young children or early teenagers, what do you call pre-teenagers, were allowed. None of it. Not even close. This could be because he just started a new relationship, job, or other activity. It could also be because he has failed in existing relationships. Well, LRH would know about that one day. Jobs or activities. Or his statistics are in a non-existence trend. So you're not making money for Scientology? Even when you're a child? You're going to be told that your statistics are in a non-existence trend. By following the non-existence formula, he will start himself on the road to success. Non-existence formula. This is actually a punishment, by the way, but they don't label anything as a punishment. But everything they do is a punishment. The auditing, in many ways, is a punishment. The drills that they do, even though they're not aware of it, it's a punishment. What are the, I'm trying to think, what are those called when they ask all kinds of questions? Those are punishments. I can't think of what they're called right now. You guys, I had to look that up. I couldn't remember to save my life. I can't believe I forgot what sec checks are. Hi. So, yeah, the sec checks, as well as, the sec checks are punishments. Ethics conditions are punishments. You know who not ever got put into ethics handlings? LRH. Drug addict, black tooth, pot belly, thinks kissing a 7-year-old girl on the lips passionately is permissible to do. He never went into ethics handlings. I mean, just in like 10 seconds, it all could have been solved on that ship. But nobody had the gumption, the tenacity, or the common sense to figure out what to do with that fool. The non-existence formula is 1, find a way to communicate with the person or group. They love that group stuff. It's the groupthink. It's the Brave New World. Group you need to be in communication with. This also sounds very much like all these amends that they make people do, like the children. 2, make yourself known to the person or people. Gotta wonder how many times Mike Rinder made children make amends. Don't you guys wonder that? I do. Or even Jerry Armstrong. You gotta wonder how many times he did that as well. 3, discover what they need or want from you. It's a super narcissistic thing to write in there. 4, do produce, because you know kids should be producing Homeland Security, and or present what they need and want from you. Give them what they want, basically. So if you hate Scientology, you're asking questions, you're 12, you don't want to be there, you don't want to do Scientology courses. People like Nathan Rich's mother force him to go to the ranch against his will, doesn't even give him his clothes. That's what happens to you. And all the governments of the world are just fine with this. Children making amends, children being told they're in a condition of non-existence. They don't exist. They don't exist, you guys. That won't do damage, will it? It won't induce trauma. Anyone ever heard of trauma-based mind control? It's all they know. A person, somehow, some way, allegedly just LRH, never, ever put child into the policies unless it was just only talking about children with their children propaganda. A person, like a child, who newly takes over a job, like a child, in a company or activity that is already operating, It's before he turned himself into a church. Often thinks he had better make himself known by changing everything. In fact, he is not well enough known to do this, and he hasn't any idea of what is needed or wanted yet. And so he creates disaster. That's chaos magic, by the way. But what do I know? For example, a son took over his father's popular coffee shop when his father retired. The son decided to change the time the shop opened so they could stay open later in the evening for the local students. He started opening the shop at lunchtime, but before long he found the shop had lost most of their customers to a neighboring cafe. What did he do wrong? He didn't find out that the customers needed and wanted a coffee shop that was open early in the morning, where they could buy their coffee on the way to work. Because he did not apply the non-existence formula, the shop was in trouble. Can you believe this? Sometimes a person in a non-existence condition, like a child, assumes he knows what is needed or wanted, when it is only his idea and not true at all. Not true at all. Not true at all, troll. And so he fails at his job or in his relationship. And sometimes he doesn't even listen to what the other people tell him is needed. Let's take an example of using this formula correctly. A woman starts a new job, before it was a church, working at a kindergarten caring for young children. She finds out that the best way to talk to the parents is when they pick up their children at the end of the day, as they are very rushed in the mornings. She introduces herself to each of the parents and asks them what is needed and wanted by them. The parents let her know that their priority is safety for the children, as well as the children learning new things. They also want their children to be happy and have fun. The woman who also asks the owner of the kindergarten what she needs and wants, and her boss stresses exactly the same things. The woman now starts working hard to deliver on these requests. She takes extra care for the safety of the children, and every day she teaches the children new fun lessons. The children enjoy this, and when their parents collect them each day, they find their children are happy and proud. Before long, the parents are telling their friends about the wonderful kindergarten, and she receives a raise in pay from her boss. She has successfully used the non-existence formula. To be successful in a new relationship, activity, or group requires you to follow the steps of the non-existence formula, and then the next formula, one after the other. Those are spells, by the way. The non-existence formula can be used not only by a person, like a child, but also by a group, troll, an organization, and even an entire country. Okay, that's it. I will leave a link in the description box. Like and subscribe if you choose. Otherwise, have an amazing day or night, wherever you are. Peace.